Welcome back to Divorcee Cafe. We have Natalee Fox from the Travel Concierge today talking about divorce and her experiences. And now we are going to kind of dive into being a single mom entrepreneur, which is what a lot of us do.
Right.
So just to recap about how you became, kind of where you are now as far as work. Just a little quick recap of your background.
So I've been in the industry for 23 years, but I worked for a large hotel company for 20 years. And my department, my position was basically realigned, let go, whatever. So I found myself laid off after 20 years with a company that I thought I was going to retire with.
Yeah.
So at that point, I just realized I didn't want to go through that heartache and pain ever again, and the only way to do that was to become my own boss.
And at the same time, your husband left, and you
husband
got hit by a
left.
car.
Yep.
You had a wonderful year. Yeah. It really was trial by fire, but it also, I think, made it very clear that life is fleeting and to live the moment and to live the now and to work on your dreams.
And I don't think, at least for me, where I was in a really wonderful, comfortable corporate job, the day-to-day, it was so routine that I didn't realize all that I was kind of missing by living that routine. And when all of a sudden you don't have that, you really are redefining what life looks like. I mean, even it's been 4 years now, and I still will have days. I'm entirely self-employed, and I own my own agency, but I'll still find myself thinking, I can't call in sick today. I've got this, and this, and I'm thinking about punching the clock, and I'm thinking, of all those little things, and then I stop and I'm like, wait a second.
I can
actually take a sick day today, and I am okay, and my clients will be fine, and I have that freedom, which is what I wanted to have by being my own boss.
Right.
I'm not tied to a 9-to-5 job if I don't want to be, and that's been a huge shift in my life. So yes, you have to, one, redefine what you want in life, and little things become very important, and the freedoms that you all of a sudden have, I think you're so structured and you're so wound up in what life is supposed to be, and then all of a sudden to be given the freedom to, actually, if I would like to sleep until 7 a.m. and get up and take a nice walk and get my exercise in, and then maybe shower later in the afternoon and work, I can do that. And conceptually, you have to retrain your brain. You have to retrain
your rewiring.
Exactly.
How did you handle going from corporate world to unemployed, single mom, and getting the gumption to actually start building your own travel agency?
Obviously, for that first 6 to 12 months, the whole first year, I was in pure survival mode. And so I learned a lot of hard lessons that way, because I was desperate. I got to have a job. I've got to do this. I've got to have money. I've got to be able to feed my kids. I've got to get through this divorce. I'm injured. I don't have medical insurance. I was going through all of that. I was in survival mode. And so I took on a lot of contract work, a lot of, trying to take the talents and the skills that I learned from my company and put them to use and try and make money that way. And that was good. And it was in that process that I learned so much about what it is to own your own business, because it's entirely different. When you are, an operations manager and you have a department of 300 people and you've got 35 direct reports, you learn a lot, but you also have this huge support team. You have somebody who creates your budget and tells you how
you can delegate.
Right, and you're told this is how much money you have, and you don't have to figure it out. They just hand you a nice spreadsheet, and your finances are worked out. Done. And then all of a sudden, now as an entrepreneur, you're like, wait, what's an LLC? And what does that mean? And what am I supposed to do with that?
Right.
And I pay taxes quarterly now? I'm so confused, So kind of in my floundering and not knowing what I was going to do, I became very educated. And I just realized, if I'm going to make this work, I've got a lot to learn. And so I still took on those jobs. I worked for people want to work for. I mean, God bless them. I even worked for my divorce attorney to
Oh my
try,
goodness.
to try and help pay for my fees,
Wow.
and learned a lot that way about the behind scenes of what goes on in divorces. And so the silver lining in that was I became educated, about divorces, and I just thought, one day I'll be able to help other women someday go through this. But so I would say for the last 4 years, honestly, I've just been educating myself and finding people who genuinely wanted to help me and see me succeed. And that helped me emotionally because I felt like I was useless, like I wasn't important enough to keep around. So I had to kind of get my head out of that belief. And so I just started building my team.
Where did you go to get all of your education?
Multiple different places. So I had a friend who said, I know you just got laid off. I know you've got a compensation coming. I know you're trying to scrimp, but why don't you, I think you need to go to this business retreat. It's entrepreneurs who are starting up. It helps them learn and know how to organize their business. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, why not? I got to start somewhere. So that's what I started doing is I just started finding workshops, and if I needed to save up money for it, then I would do that. But I would look, and I would be online all the time, and then reaching out to people in my industry. I think I went through a bit of I'm done with the travel industry. I'm never going to go back there. And that was just silly because it was in my blood.
Yeah.
I wanted to travel. And when I finally got over that, then the last 2 years was like, nope, I'm going to have my own agency. I'm going to do this. I'm going to continue taking my kids to see the world. I'm going to continue to help other people because it's a fun job. Rarely do you have a bad situation. I mean, there are some times, if there's a death in the family or whatnot, but I still get so much enjoyment knowing that I've helped that person, get to their family or whatever. So once I got over my hurt from being laid off and realizing travel was where it was going to be, then I went back to school, found travel institutes so that I could learn the entire business. I came from the hotel side, but now I needed to learn everything. So for 2 years, I've just been in the trenches. I found an agency to work for that I could learn from, and had a wonderful person to really teach me who had been running her own agency for 35 years. And I just worked hard at learning all the little things. And I put together a budget, and I knew what I could afford. And I went and found a business coach and helped me with all the legalities of things that I would never ever know as far as being an entrepreneur. So that's all been key, absolutely key in being able to launch my own agency. And
now, I know a lot of single moms are going to be like, well, I don't have the money for this, and I don't have the money for a business coach, and I don't have the money for that. Like, how do you find the money to that? And you took the chances. You hired a business coach. You got educated. You went to the workshops, and you're a single mom, and you're trying to make it all work. So for those people that are holding that limiting belief, like, what's your kick in the pants kind of advice?
Well, number one thing is you've got to stop coming from a place of scarcity. And that was another thing that I learned from yet another person that I worked with. You've got to stop looking at yourself as a desperate, I have no money, I can't afford this. You've got to look at it. No, I get to spend this money. I get to put this money away. And it changes the dynamic of how you see money. And that is a difficult concept to come about, especially when you've got 3 kids that you're supposed to be taking care of.
Right.
The mommy bear kind of sets in and like, no, my kids come first.
Right.
Your kids can always come first, but you can do this. There are ways, if you're willing to put in the time and the hours, there are so many people like us that want to help you and want to make this happen. You don't have to have a lot of capital. I didn't have anything. I've had to do this entirely on my own and just build it slowly,
little by little,
step by little, and all of a sudden, it's just gonna work. And it may feel like it's never going to come, but I can tell you it does. And if you can get out of that scarcity mentality and start looking at your money differently, you'll find ways to make that money. I didn't have that much money. When I found this business coach, I was like, I gulped. I'm like, it's that much? Okay. And I just thought, no, if I was going to have a car payment or something like that, it would be the same thing. I have a car. I'm blessed with a car that works. I don't have a car payment right now.
So I'm going to
allocate that money. I'm going to allocate those funds, and I'm going to get this business coach. And it was the best thing I've ever done for my business. So be smart. Reach out to people in your industry or even outside of your industry. Reach out to people who are entrepreneurs.
And there's also a lot of free services. I know in Salt Lake City we have the Women's Business Center, we have SCORE, and we have so many other free services that if you just start looking for them and open yourself up to the possibility that you can get some help, there's there. I mean, we both belong to the women's networking group, but oh my God, that's been a godsend.
Right.
You know, I mean, women supporting women. Find a networking group, get out there and network with people and just pick one. Don't go cuckoo crazy and have like 5 meetup groups for 5 different things. Just pick one and just be accountable to that one thing. Because I know for myself, people say, well, how do you do it? And for me, my accountability was for the last 3 years, I would make that women's networking group luncheon every month. Yeah. Every month I would go and be present, and I would look at who was going to be coming, and I said, oh, I really need to talk to that person, and that person. And you be strategic on how you use your time. Yes. So when you're a single mom and you're an entrepreneur and you're scared and you're trying to find money and you're trying to find ways to educate yourself, there's ways to go about it that aren't going to take money or a lot of money if you're strategic about it.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
you have to plan. You absolutely have to plan, and you hit it right on the head. You have to be strategic about your networking groups, because if you don't get your name out there, if you don't let people know what your business is, it's never going to go anywhere. No. And you can't be everything to everyone all the time. So find the groups that are going to benefit you the most and where you can give back, because that's really what it's all about. Giving back to those people in your networking groups are only going to encourage them to come to you even more.
Or trade. I mean, you can trade service. I mean, I think a lot of people feel that the actual dollar is what keeps people from being able to further their education. But there is a thing called trade. It's been around for a millennia or more, where you can trade your services for somebody else's services to help you. So maybe you trade business coaching and you're a cook and you're starting your own cooking business and you trade food. You know, that helps them out because they don't have to cook, and it helps you out because now you're getting the education. So there's ways to go about it. And I think one of the last things that I'm going to put on there as a single mom and an entrepreneur and, you know, a co-parent is mind your reputation. Because I have been so surprised. Salt Lake City is a very big but very small city. It is.
It's amazing.
Everybody knows everybody. And the thing is, you don't know who knows who, or especially who knows who, or your ex. Like, just mind your P's and Q's. It's what you learn in elementary school. Mind your P's and Q's, and you'll be all good.
Yes, I agree. Know? I completely agree. Just stay true to who you are, and then, mind your reputation. If you want people to know you as a certain businesswoman or a certain type of mom, then live up to that. Be your word. And show up. And I loved what you said about being present, because you can't just show up to networking groups and expect that people are going to just hand over clients and business to you. You have to teach people how to refer you.
And also be presentable.
Absolutely.
Okay. I love you.
Absolutely.
And I get that the yoga pants are very comfortable at home when you're doing your work. But when you go to a women's networking luncheon or someplace, show up and look, even if you feel like crap, and you had it. Okay, I'm not going to swear. I had to pause myself. You had a really bad day, and you put the lipstick on and you just keep going because you need to fake it till you make it. At least in some of these instances.
Yeah, I just recently went through some pretty severe health issues and major surgery, and one of the women networking lunches was coming up, and they actually had sponsored me to come. They wanted me to be one of the integral parts of that luncheon, and I just thought, oh my gosh, the effort that it's going to take to try and shower and actually do my hair and everything. But I thought, no, I need to get out. I need to do whatever it takes. So my, sweet husband helped me. We got my scooter and I go rolling into this restaurant, and it was the best thing ever because I was just embraced with love. And the fact that I just showed up.
Just show up.
Just show up. I was in pain the entire time. I just was gritting my teeth, but I didn't want people to know that, and it's okay. Just show up.
I think that is the mantra as a single mom. Just show up.
Show up. Seriously.
Totally. And if you want to connect with Natalee and ask her questions, she'd be more than happy to help you.
Absolutely.
So she's with the Travel Concierge. And what's your website?
www.thetravelconcierge.net. And you can also get me directly. Call me at 801-694-2294.
And thanks for joining us. Stay tuned. We have Natalee coming up and another segment coming up soon. Thanks. See you soon.
Thank you.